hypnotherapists, therapists, coaches, counselors, the more responsibility you take for your clients' results, the more your confidence depends on it. This is something that I teach within my advanced conversational hypnosis mastermind, is that every client has a different way of processing things, just in general, things, problems, solutions in their life, all right? And then when they come to a session with you, there's processing happening during the session, of course, because you're asking insightful questions, well, especially with the advanced conversational hypnosis, because it is based on asking questions and based on therapeutic principles. However, what I'm trying to say is you're asking questions, and if your questions are good and insightful, and if they are based on their unconscious reactions, then when you ask certain questions, clients go into processing mode, into kind of thinking, processing whatever is happening, even into the emotional mode. And these tiny processing shifts and stuff are happening during the session. And what's happening after a session is more processing. So if you had like a super powerful session of an hour, couple of hours, whatever, and there were a lot of touch points about, you spoke about a lot of things have been opened. After your session, your client will still be processing, okay? So if you take too much responsibility for them to have a complete shift during a session and not experience any processing after the session, then you're shooting yourself in the foot. You're shooting your confidence in the foot, and also you're doing a disservice for your client, because while the client is processing, you should leave the client processing, okay? Because every client has a different processing time. And yes, you can talk to them if they reach out and they feel emotional after a session, because that happens. You can help them understand these emotions. However, if every single time clients reach out for you after a session, say a couple of days after a session, and say, oh my God, I feel so emotional, I don't know what's happening, and you jump in to do another session because you feel like, oh my God, my session didn't work, and your confidence is now shaking, then you're actually doing disservice to them and to yourself and to your confidence. So you need to understand that when you are in this profession, you're not just you're not healing them, you're not saving them, you are guiding them to certain places for them to understand their own healing power and for them to find their own solutions. So this unshakable true confidence comes from knowing your role as a therapist, as a coach, and as a hypnotherapist. Because if you think that your role is to save them, to take all of the responsibility for their healing, and to if you feel like their result is only dependent on how well you ran a session, you already failed. You already have this ego attachment to the results, and hence you're having this roller coaster. Oh, one client didn't receive that result, then I feel sad, and then another client received this other result, then I feel so good about it. But as a confident therapist, hypnotherapist, you're supposed to be feeling it's not about supposed to be feeling, but you should know that you're doing the best job that you can do. You're using the best method that you can use. And you've got the skill to actually direct the client to a positive result without purposefully directing them. And that is a skill. That is a skill that I can teach you within Advanced Conversational Hypnosis Mastermind. Because if you're just asking questions, for example, without allowing your client to process your previous question, then you're interrupting them, okay? Or if you're just walking them through the tool or technique or step-by-step framework, again, you're not actually going with the client. You're trying to kind of put them into some sort of a framework, which also doesn't always work. Like if you're a hypnotherapist and you're starting out and you're just doing that, is fine as training wheels, right? It's literally training wheels. These tools, these techniques, these are training wheels. So if you really want to actually master your craft, you need to be able to recognize the principles of the breakthroughs, of the healing, of the therapy, and you need to be able to lead the session with confidence, okay? So within ACH, I teach that the responsibility is actually shared, okay? So you come in with your skill to read clients' unconscious moments, to read their unconscious expressions, and to navigate their unconscious mind with precision. That's your skill. That's what I'm going to teach you. And the client's responsibility is to actually do the heavy lifting, the processing, the work, the shifts, the aha insights, to be open to the possibility to have that result. Because there are also clients, sometimes they come to you to prove you wrong. If you have encountered that sort of client, I'd say, like during the strategy call, if you do the strategy calls, I'd say this is probably not a client for you. Because if someone comes to say like, I don't believe hypnotherapy, but I'll try this just to prove, myself right and to prove that you can't do anything. So then you don't want that sort of client as well. Does that make sense? And also another thing that I teach is that is very much related to it is the detachment from results. That detachment is what's gonna lead you to mastering the skill, to mastering the subconscious mind, and to like ditching the scripts altogether. If that makes sense and you feel like you would benefit from subconscious mastery, then you must join my mastermind. I will teach you everything that you need to know, and you literally, it's not only your sessions that are gonna change, the whole of your practice is gonna change, and even you are gonna change as well. So drop me a DM or drop me a comment here under this video, and let's have a chat.